When I was 17, in 1964, I thought life was something that stretched out like an open highway, endless, bright, mine. At 96 years old, I don't remember every face from those days. Some names have faded, some streets have blurred, but I remember every regret. I remember the words I didn't say, the apologies I postponed, the doors I walked away from thinking they would always be open. If I could sit across from my 17-year-old self right now, I wouldn't yell at him. I'd just take his shoulders, look him in the eyes and whisper, "Slow down." Because time doesn't warn you when it's running out. Back then, the world moved differently. We had a black and white television in the living room. It had rabbit ear antennas that needed adjusting every 10 minutes. My mother would smack the side of it when the picture flickered. Sometimes it worked. Music came through the radio first. I remember hearing the Beatles for the first time in 1964. The whole neighborhood felt like it shifted overnight. Vinyl records spinning, the soft crackle before the song began. There were no smartphones, no notifications, no endless scroll. If you wanted to talk to someone, you called their house phone and hoped their father didn't answer. If you missed someone, you wrote a letter, ink on paper. You could smell it, fold it, hold it. My parents were strict. My father believed in discipline. My mother believed in quiet strength. Neither of them said, "I love you," very often, but they showed it, and I was too young to see it. I fell in love for the first time at 16. Her laugh sounded like wind chimes. We would sit on the hood of my friend's car and watch the sun sink behind the grain silos. I thought that feeling would last forever. It didn't. I pretended to be confident. I pretended not to care what people thought. But I cared deeply about fitting in, about being respected, about not looking weak. That part hasn't changed, has it? The tools are different now, but the pressure feels the same. Let me tell you where I went wrong. I chose pride over apology. In 1967, I had a fight with my best friend. His name was Daniel. We'd grown up together, shared lunches, shared secrets, shared dreams about leaving our small town and becoming somebody. The argument was stupid, something about money, about who said what, about who deserved credit. It wasn't about any of that, really. It was about ego. We stood outside the gas station on Main Street. The air smelled like gasoline and summer heat. He said something that bruised my pride, so I said something worse. I remember the exact moment he looked at me, not angry, just disappointed, and I walked away. I told myself, he'll call. He didn't. Weeks passed, then months. Life moved on. He moved away. Years later, I heard he died in a car accident. We never spoke again. All because I needed to be right. I lost more by being right than I would have by being kind. That lesson took me 40 years to understand. I broke someone's heart carelessly. That girl I told you about, the one with the wind chime laugh. She loved me in a way only young people can love, fully, fearlessly. But I wanted attention. I wanted admiration. I wanted to feel important. So when another girl started showing interest, I entertained it. I flirted. I played games. I thought being desired meant being valuable. When she found out, she didn't scream. She just looked at me and cried quietly. I can still see her standing under the streetlight that night. Her shadow stretched long across the pavement. I remember wanting to run after her, but pride stopped me again. I told myself, I'm young, there will be others. There were others, but there was never another her. I thought being young meant being invincible. It doesn't. Young people don't think about consequences. Old people think about nothing else. I ignored my father. We had a harsh argument in 1969. I wanted to leave town. He thought I was chasing fantasies. We yelled in the kitchen. My mother stood silent between us, twisting a dish towel in her hands. He told me, "One day you'll understand." I told him, "You don't understand anything." Those were the last angry words I ever spoke to him. A year later, he had a stroke. I stood beside his hospital bed, wanting to say everything I'd refused to say before. Thank you. I'm sorry. I see now what you were trying to teach me. But machines filled the silence instead. And some conversations can't be had twice. Your parents won't always be there. That's not meant to scare you. It's just the truth. I took my health for granted. In my 20s, I worked long hours, smoked too much, slept too little, ate whatever was cheap and fast. I thought my body was unbreakable. Now, at 96, I measure my days in careful steps. I feel every winter in my bones. You don't notice health until it whispers that it's leaving. Protect it while it's quiet. Time taught me things youth never could. It taught me that reputation lingers, that people remember how you made them feel long after they forget what you achieved. It taught me that popularity fades fast. Character doesn't. It taught me that love requires humility. You have to bend sometimes. You have to admit you're wrong. You have to apologize even when your ego screams not to. Pride feels powerful in the moment, but it is very lonely in the long run. Time is silent, but it is ruthless. You don't hear it ticking. You just wake up one day and realize decades have passed. Now I look at you, teenagers growing up in a world I could never have imagined. You carry the weight of comparison in your pocket. You measure yourselves against filtered lives. You fear missing out. You fear falling behind. We feared things too. We feared not being strong enough, not being admired, not being chosen. The feelings you carry aren't new. We carried them too, just without a screen. So when I tell you to choose kindness over pride, it's not because I think you're reckless. It's because I was. When I tell you to talk to your parents, it's not because they're always right. It's because someday you won't be able to. When I tell you to apologize quickly, it's because silence stretches longer than you think. When I tell you to protect your health, it's because your body keeps score quietly. And when I tell you to choose character over attention, it's because attention fades, but character becomes your legacy. You don't have to be perfect. I wasn't. You will make mistakes. I did. Just don't let pride decide them for you. Don't postpone love. Don't assume you'll fix it later. Later is not a promise. It's a gamble. Sometimes, late at night, I sit in my chair and close my eyes. I can still hear the hum of that old radio, still smell my mother's cooking drifting from the kitchen, Still see Daniel standing by that gas station. Still see that girl under the streetlight. Memories don't age. They stay sharp. And if I could live 1964 again, I wouldn't try to be cooler, or tougher, or more admired. I would be kinder. I would say sorry faster. I would hug my father longer. I would protect the people who loved me instead of testing how much they could endure. At 96, you don't count your trophies. You count your relationships. So let me ask you something. When you turn 96, what will you wish you had done differently? Will you remember your followers, or the hands that held yours when you were afraid? Will you remember the arguments you won, or the friendships you lost? I can't go back to 1964, but you can wake up tomorrow and choose differently. Don't repeat what I did.